So thank you everyone for joining today. On this call, we're going to be reviewing the latest feature release from Structured Web for the month of April 2018. So we have a pretty full agenda for this latest feature release. Just going through the list of what we'll be covering. First, starting with something for the content managers out there. The ability to add multiple tactics into a campaign at once instead of adding them one at a time. Also, we'll be taking a look at the related tactics feature and how we've added events and nurtures to be supported as related tactics. Some updates that we've made to the planning tool. The added ability to modify which reports are available to partners based on the tactics that they have available to them. And then lastly, we will look at two new reports that are available to vendors, the account program membership report, and then also the user navigation and tracking report. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch over to the live slides and we can begin. Okay. So the first item on our agenda was the ability to add multiple tactics into a campaign. This would start out just like the normal process for adding tactics into a campaign. So we'll go into the Campaigns tab and select our campaign. And then we'll go to the Marketing Activities tab. And from here, you can see that we have the tactics that are currently in this campaign. So that displays just the same as it used to. And if we want to add more tactics, we can, just like we did before, use the Browse Library option. So again, this feature is so far the same as what we're already used to. We can use the filters on the left and the search bar at the top to further narrow down the specific tactics that we are wanting to add. But you'll notice at the top right of each tactic, now we have this little plus icon. Okay, and so we can simply click on this icon, and that will add that specific tactic into the campaign. So you can see we get the message at the top, and then also we have the checkbox to let you know that that tactic was added. So we can then continue to go through and click the checkboxes for all of the tactics that we want to add to this campaign. Of course, if you do want to see the preview of that specific tactic, you can still click on the main body of the thumbnail image, and that will load the preview image, that view, just the same as it did, just the same as it did before. Okay. And then when we go back, we can see that we have the insights email. Oh, yeah, here we can see that here. Okay. So that's the first item that we have for the release. The next item that we have is the ability to add events and nurtures as related tactics. So related tactics are useful for you and for partners to help kind of show which tactics have specific, like I said, exactly like it sounds, have a related basis for them. So, for example, these emails have a similar, similar topic. So, if you're interested in the email that you selected, you might also be interested in these other emails. So, we did previously have this feature for things like emails and files, but that functionality has been extended to events and nurtures as well. So, the way that the related tactics works is we'll go to the Tactics tab. And then we'll select the tactics that we're looking for. I'll use nurtures as the example because we are, that's the new feature. So we can select the nurture. And then you can see we have the group related. Now, of course, I am able to select multiple nurtures if I want those to be grouped. Or you can also group across different file types. So you can group similar nurtures with, for example, the individual emails on the Emails tab. Once we click Group Related, we can either create a new group that this tactic will be added to, or add it into a group that we have already created. So for example, Analytics Everywhere. So here's the group that has previously been created. So I will select it. Now we can see that this nurturing tactic is added into the Analytics Everywhere group. If we select the tactic on the Related Tactics tab, we can see all of the groups that this tactic is in, as well as the tactics themselves that are in that grouping as well. So we can see there's some individual emails, this nurture, as well as this call script that I've added. So this is what this looks like from the kind of the admin setup view. For partners, when they log in, we'll go into the library and Analytics. Okay, so we will scroll down to our nurture, to Analytics Anywhere. So of course, the preview is going to display just as it normally does. So in the case of a nurture, we have all the emails in the nurture. And then at the bottom of that section, we can see the related tactics display. So here we can see that we have in this case, the 3 emails, as well as the call script that we saw before. So if we decide instead of this nurture, we want to use one of the related tactics instead, we would simply click on the thumbnail, and then the preview updates to the thumbnail for that specific tactic. But of course, as we scroll down, we're able to see the same list of related tactics. So again, just another way that you can make it easy for your partners to find tactics similar to the one that they initially selected. Okay. Another feature that we've released in April that is really useful and helpful for partners is the updates and improvements to the planning tool. So if we scroll up, partners have the Plans tab next to the library. And this is where partners are able to create their marketing plans. Most of this feature is in many ways still a lot of the same functionality, but we've really improved the kind of look and feel of the feature to make it a little bit easier to use and a little bit easier to understand. So here we have an existing plan that's been created. So we can select that plan. So the plan, for example, is in this case 2018. And then within that plan, we may have different campaigns that break down our marketing for the year 2018 into the different, maybe the different quarters or the different major events that we'll be doing. So for example, we have here this seminar campaign. And this is the view that's really been simplified for the campaign planning functionality. So you can see in the sales goals, we're able to really easily kind of view and display the kind of what type of revenue goals we're setting for this campaign. So ultimately what we're trying to achieve. So we can say 100,000, and we can enter what our average order amount typically would be, which automatically brings us to the 10 orders at our average amount to reach that revenue goal. From there, we have the marketing funnel. So knowing that we have 10 orders that we're going to need to meet our revenue goal, we can set our conversion rate from opportunities. So how many opportunities are required to get an order? Let's say 25%, but maybe we have a higher success rate than that. We could say 50%. And then the same thing from just regular leads to opportunities. So again, you can set that conversion to match what has historically worked for your organization. Then in the area down below, we're able to attach all of the different marketing tactics that we have as part of this campaign. So in this example, we have some ads, video, an email, and a seminar event. And so we can use this area to access those different tactics, as well as review the estimated leads, cost for each of those tactics to make sure that we are getting enough activity to get to those required leads that we have at the top. And then in the area down below, we have the summary, which again kind of breaks down all of that information based on the revenue, orders, opportunities, and leads. And then for the rows, we have the amount that's kind of required overall, your estimates, so how many you estimate that you'll be able to get, and then the cost values. So how expensive was the campaign overall, and then how much are you spending per order, per opportunity, etc. So again, just a simplified, easier view to understand the planning functionality within the platform. Okay. The next feature is another one that affects partners, but it's also specific for each vendor. So some vendors only using some of the different tactics in our platform. We've now given you the ability to turn off the reports for tactics that your partners aren't using. So for example, for this partner, if we go to reports and look at the current reports, for example, maybe as in your program, you are not currently using social media in the platform. And so it doesn't make sense for your partners to see those social media reports. Now we're able to use, we're able to limit the reports that display here just to those tactics that your partners are using. The way that you can do that is back in the program view. We'll go to the settings tab and then the marketing settings. So here in the marketing settings, we have the list of tactic types. This is also the same area where you would turn on and off the different filters in the library. And so if we decide to turn off social and save the change, for partners, if I refresh, we will then no longer see the social. So again, only those reports that are actually applicable for your partners will display in that list. Okay. And then the last major topic for the release are some of the new reports that are available for vendors. So we have two new reports available to you under the Reports tab. The first of those is the Accounts Program Membership Report. So here we can see Accounts Program Membership. So this is a relatively simple report. The basic idea of this report is for you to very quickly and easily see which of your partners are in which programs. So of course, on the dashboard view, we can see an overall understanding of how many programs and how many accounts you have. And then we have separate sheets of that report to see for each program, what are the accounts in that program. And similarly, for each partner, which account are they in? So if you ever need to do any reorganization, these reports will make it much easier for you to understand which accounts are where and be able to much more easily update and make those required changes for your partners. The second report option that we have that's new is the User Navigation Tracking Report. So this report is going to be very useful for you to understanding what your partners are doing within the platform once they've logged in. So we can see from the dashboard with the initial view, you get an understanding of how many login sessions your partners are having, how many different unique users, how many times each user is logging in, how long are those partners staying logged in? So are they staying in for a short amount of time, or are they staying longer than just a minute? And a basic understanding of, are they going to the library and the campaigns? So this is just an overview. The next slide, I think, is probably one of my favorite reports that we have in the system. The activity type analysis, which lets you see how your partners are actually using the system. So you can see that we break it down based on campaigns and the library to understand when your partners are going to campaigns and when your partners are going to the library, how are they progressing through the process. So at each step, we can see what they're doing. So you're starting with the total, every session that we have. From there, how many are going to either campaigns or the library. And then from there, kind of how they continue through that process. So are they going from the Campaigns tab and actually selecting a campaign? If they have gone to a campaign, are they opening? Are they actually opening the preview for a specific asset? And if they do that, are they actually launching an asset? Or similarly for the library, when they go to the library, are they opening up that preview? And if they're doing so, are they actually selecting that preview to either download it or copy it to their account and, in the case of an email, for example, sending it out? So this gives you a really good visual way to understand how your partners are using the system. So in this example, for this impact program, partners seem to have a much higher response rate with the library. But in your case, your partners might be responding much more to the campaigns that you're making available to them, and maybe not as much with the library. So a really good visual of how your partners are using the platform and maybe where they might be getting hung up. Okay. Additionally, we have analysis of search terms that your partners are using, whether that's in campaigns or the library, to see what types of terms that they are searching for and using. So again, we can see just an example of some of the search terms. So if in the future you see that a specific search term is really heavily being used by your partners, then you can use that information to maybe say, oh, it might make sense to add some more of this content into the system to see really what your partners are looking for. And then from there, with the additional sheets, we just break down the data in a few different ways. So again, based on the geography, or by individual account, or even by users, or even at a much higher individual user level. Okay, so and that is all of the main features that we had today for the feature release. Any questions on any of those topics? Okay, well, thank you everyone again for joining today's call. Of course, if you do have any questions or issues that come up for you, please feel free to give us an email, service@structuredweb.com. Of course, you can also call us, our 24/5 support at the numbers listed on the page. And also feel free to chat with us using the chat tool and the need help at the bottom right of anywhere where you are in the platform. And visit our online support at support.structuredweb.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.